from Discord. It's Thursday. You know what that means? It's Podzilla After Dark here on the Podzilla 1985 Network. What up? My name's Shannon Young. I'm going to be your host, Mr. 100, to you wrestling fans for at least another couple days till the stink wears off. We're going to be, look, it was a good show. We'll talk about it a little bit here tonight. It is Thursday. We're going to have some fun. We're going to do some mild jokes. We'll do a couple skits. And here's the cast for the evening. First off, just announced, Jesse, I just heard about this. Jesse, of course, just stepped down from Doge. He stepped down from the Trump administration as Jesse Kimball. We're lucky to get him.
What?
Oh, God. That's might be one of the most insulting ones yet. Like,
I couldn't think of anything.
I am a better computer scientist than the entirety of Doge.
It stood for the Department of Government Efficiency. And they were efficient in getting rid of Elon Musk. That's actually one of the stories we're going to talk about here in a little bit. So hold on. Lindsay Wolfgong is here with us tonight.
Yes, I'm here.
Hates manual labor. She hates neighbors.
Yes.
What does she like? Find out tonight on an all-new expose.
Pokemon.
Yes. And penguins.
And penguins.
Penguin Mod. Hey,
They
that's
don't have to be mutually exclusive.
that's Shelby Kimball.
Yeah, that's me.
That is her. The man himself, Tanner Calvert.
Yeah, that's who I am. That is my name.
Beard at 40%.
I'm back.
It's
I'm
loading.
back.
It's loading. Give it another
It's on
week.
dial-up.
It'll be back. It's on dial-up. Tanner's got a dial-up buzz beard. Oh. Double H.
Okay.
Well,
No, I'm busy. I gotta go change the name now to Dial Up Buzzbeard.
probably get rid of that.
I'm gonna change this because I don't like it.
What was it? Out of curiosity.
It was hard nipple problems.
Can't do this
Yeah.
right now, guys. I can't
Yeah.
do this right now. I got some tragic news.
What's that?
I don't have marijuana. So
Oh no.
tonight we're just going back to the old school. We'll tip up to you.
There it is.
Motherfucker.
No, that's peanut
I wasn't
buttery.
paying attention. Did he just chug it out of the bottle?
No, I have a
Yeah.
shot glass. No, I have a shot glass. God damn it!
I mean, he's
Look,
in
I did
almost
look and there
complete
was
darkness.
a 75% chance I was right anyway.
It's
Yeah,
like,
because we can't really see. Shannon's kind of cheating in our whole have to have the video on thing.
look. I don't know what to tell you, brother. My
His
room
camera likes the darkness.
my room is so lit up. It's like a goddamn sun in here. I don't know why I live in the darkness. I can only assume this is how God wants you to see me. Barely.
You have an overhead light, don't you?
It's on.
It's on.
No way.
Hold on.
Yeah, hold on.
It
Look,
seriously is.
look.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I have all my lights on. I don't know why it's so dark. Like, that's legit.
It's gotta be
You gotta have a
aesthetic you've
filter.
put in your camera or
You have a
something.
filter on.
I don't like that you
I can
guys
actually see
that
that.
you guys just think I'm sabotaging this on purpose. Like, I'm not.
Oh, is that really so far outside your character?
So first off, I feel should address some things. Damn it! There's this one thing that I want to keep bringing up, and then I'll just forget it every time. That's disappointing. Jesse, talk about something real quick while I think of it.
Well, dude, I don't have much to talk about.
Good
we can talk
time to
about
admit
politics.
that.
The tariffs. A court said that he couldn't do it, and then they went ahead and put that on hold while it goes through appeal, so he can get his Supreme Court to say that he can in fact do it. So that's fun.
At this point, I think I'm basically on Donald Trump's side. I give up.
That's
No.
We just can't.
No,
We just
no,
can't
okay.
win. You know, there's just no
Shannon,
winning this
please.
one anymore. Nah, it's fine. There was some legitimate oh, this is cool, and I want to talk about this on the show, and I can't remember it. So instead, let me share you a story really quick about what happened yesterday when Tanner and I tried to watch Dracula Dead and Loving It
God damn it, motherfucker.
at the store. So we're
It
doing
went badly.
we're doing Mel Brooks May, right? All month long on Extras and Epilogues. We've been reviewing Mel Brooks films, and we've had a great time doing it. We've seen some very funny films. And Tanner kept saying that Dracula Dead and Loving It is his least favorite Mel Brooks film. It's the worst. And I was like, no, it's not his best, but I always remembered liking it. I think it's funnier than you remember it. So yesterday, he's at the store, and we decide to put it on TV. Let's watch it right now. Why not? We watched Men in Tights like this, and we had a great time. So Men in Tights is streaming on YouTube for free. And I have YouTube Red or whatever it is, so obviously there's no commercial, so it works great. But not Men in Black, Dracula Dead and Loving It is not. You can only rent it. And I couldn't rent it because I didn't have my stuff logged in. There was a whole bunch of things. Tanner, though, has a movie website, completely legal, run by our friends from Russia, probably. And he said it's on there for free. So I was like, let's watch it then. But we didn't want to watch it on the computer. We wanted to put it on the TV. So we tried to Chromecast it because that's Chromecast built in, but we couldn't get it to work. So Tanner downloads a browser and goes to the website. And I'm already a little nervous about this because this is not like Google Chrome or, Edge or anything like that. I think it was called like Browser Bro 2.6 or whatever. Yeah, it's completely
No, it
unsafe.
was really called just generic browser.
Does not sound safe. We put the movie on, but we can't get it to full screen. So what I see in my horror is Tanner.
Wait. I'm jumping from browser to browser trying to find one that'll actually work because that's how that website works sometimes.
Right.
Now continue.
And then as the family walks through the door and Tanner hits the button,
No.
all of a sudden what pops up on television, all I saw was the words penis size and chatterbait. And me, him, and Steven all go for the remote and we're going, turn it off, turn it off, turn it off, turn it off. And we got it turned off just as they walked in, thank God. Because about 3 seconds later, you're going to sit here and moaning and ball slapping, I'm pretty sure. It's that.
Moaning and ball slapping.
It's that
Uh,
type noise,
None of that came through the
corporations
microphone.
don't
Yeah,
allow
we could not
them
hear
to
any
have
of that.
access to controls for TVs.
They heard it. That's what's
Probably
important.
better that you couldn't hear it.
Yes. Yes. Now, I've never used Chatterbait before, so I had to look up what it was for, and it's pornographic in nature.
You know that thing where you talk about how everything you say sounds sarcastic? I'd like to just point out. Just a tad.
I remembered what I was going to talk about, Hunter. Glory be to God.
Oh, good.
Praise Allah, He is my savior. So, Jesse, the motherfucker of the week. You ready for this?
Yeah, you got
QUAN MILLZ. QUAN MILLZ,
QUAN
you
MILLZ.
son of a bitch.
Terrible. He didn't do anything wrong to you.
No, but he's I would look at him and go, that's a motherfucker right there. So QUAN MILLZ is the black equivalent of Chuck Tingle. I kid you not. I'm going to put some of his books in the chat real quick, just so you can see. This was the one Hunter sent to me. This one I really appreciated.
Oh, is that the ones that we could scroll up and see a little bit?
Yeah.
Famous for such titles as Old Thought Next Door. This hoe got roaches in her crib. I can't say
that's my
the most
favorite
recent one.
Yeah.
This ninja got a
small dick.
Hold on, there's
I just
more.
love her disappointed face.
Oh, is this what you were sending that I kept ignoring?
Yes.
Because I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
Pregnant
Yes.
by my granddaddy's boyfriend.
Oh, hold on. It gets better. It gets better. There are so many classics. I love this one because I love the little white child crying in the background while the two black parents argue.
My baby daddy stole my tax refund. And it looks like Kanye in the background,
So
just
happy.
celebrating with the pile of 20s.
Oh God, there's my favorite one. Hold on. Not that one.
My pastor got a stripper
I
pregnant.
love it.
Okay, so Jesse, since you're naming them off, please say the name of this one.
He won't. It's going to be bad.
Pastors eat my.
No. Pastors
No.
eat.
Oh, sorry. Pastors eat pussy. Pussy too.
I can keep it going. There's my bad white
like,
bitch.
Bad.
That is a W there, right? Like I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not
think it's
crazy?
Two, Is it a
Yeah.
W? It'll just look like
It's
two
a W.
U's.
It's a W.
Like, there's a
Oh,
clear W or there's a
shit.
clear U. It's
Hunter.
definitely
Yeah,
a
it's a
W.
W. It's
Hunter,
a W.
he wrote
My
a
bad.
sequel. He wrote a sequel. Read that one.
My bad white bitch.
Oh, here we
this
go.
hoe still got roaches and now rats in her crib.
Ew.
Also, she had a baby apparently in the meantime.
You think the baby's the rat?
Good for her. No, because you can see the rats.
Oh.
There's one rat on the ceiling that appears to have been stretched in MS Paint.
Well, Hunter,
I love
here's a classic halitosis love story.
I don't like the phrase halitosis love story.
Oh, your breath stank. That's a slow story.
Oh. Please notice that in her mouth where the breath is coming from is the saddest little emoji.
It's a vomit emoji.
There's a little sad emoji. He's grossed out.
I need everybody listening to know that is how it's spelled. It's HOE ho yo YO breath
Breath.
BREAF
Breath. Stank.
STANK.
This is just the gift that keeps on giving. There's your granny, my sneaky link.
Ew.
This is
Oh.
vernacular in these titles.
Oh, hold on.
So bad.
I can, and just like Chuck Tingle, this man never runs out of stories to write. There's Hood Horror Tales.
Horror tales.
Pregnant by a Chirac drill rapper, demon from hell.
See, this one irritates me because that's clearly AI art.
That
That's
is.
frustrating.
That is, I
He
would
did a lot
rather.
of good work prior to that.
Yes, he does the Chuck Tingle thing where he just gets what is it called, public domain, copyright free pictures,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
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 Oh, but I think he's starting to dip into AI a little too much because here's pregnant by a hood alien. That alien's from the hood.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's AI art for sure.
Other classic QUAN MILLZ stories. I'll just wrap it up here, but you got to see, of course, Addicted to the Abortion Clinic.
Uh,
well, of course it's in Illinois.
Damn.
Yeah,
That's really.
that one's a little mean, isn't it?
That's fucked up.
Harsh.
I wanted to find the one where there was one that was like pregnant by my gay stepdaddy or something like that. And we'll end off, of course, with that classic love story. I'll wait till it loads. I don't want to spoil the story for anybody watching there. But it's my boyfriend beats me, but I still love him. That's
Oh,
stick to hood
Oh,
aliens,
goddamn
man.
that fucking picture.
Yeah, the picture is what gets me.
Yanks.
It's green like leprechauns.
Full
Yeah.
standalone.
It went
5-star
from
lit.
funny to depressing.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
so good.
That was,
So
that was,
good.
that was not
So
good.
we're gonna wrap it up. The QUAN MILLZ talk with one to bring you back to happiness. It's another sequel, and I think you'll enjoy it.
Pastors eat booty too.
Shouldn't that be Woody, like with a W?
Booty.
with
Right.
two as in also, not the number.
Like I'm really wondering if the pussy is a typo that he just didn't bother fixing.
He just didn't correct. I need.
But the W, the U, and the P are not that close to each other, Jesse.
Mm-mm.
Look, I'm trying to help him, man. Like
QUAN MILLZ don't need your help.
maybe it's just a word that he can't have. No, because there's some other bad shit. But maybe nothing else that he probably can't have on an actual title.
Maybe he couldn't
Well-
put the word pussy on the title. Maybe it would have
Yeah,
been.
because like it's a similar situation, but he could have censored it the way he did dick. because that's D exclamation asterisk.
Hunter, I think that's my favorite QUAN MILLZ book, is this ninja got a small dick, because she looks so sad. It's like they caught her reaction as soon as she pulled his shorts down, and she was like, oh, good. It's a Tootsie Roll.
Yeah. Anyway, I forget when we found this. It was earlier when you found it. Anyway, it was earlier this week.
It was right before, right before E&E, because thank God Kaz never found it.
Did you see the condom in the back of his pocket in that one?
No.
Which one?
And this ninja got a small dick.
Let me scroll up through these books.
The condom brand is Little Africa. It's a Little Africa extra small condom.
God.
I love too that by the time that one came out, he was best-selling author QUAN MILLZ.
Yeah. Well, he's not a Hugo Award winner though, or whatever it is, like Chuck Tingle. Look, I'm just saying.
Yeah, Chuck Tingle does actually have a Hugo.
I need Chuck Tingle and QUAN MILLZ to work together. I need a co-op story. I need Bigfoot's balls to haunt some hoe in church.
I need that collaboration project.
Chuck Tingle has an actual published novel that you could buy like at a bookstore, like a normal one that doesn't require a license, to get in. I wonder about this guy.
There was actually a picture of QUAN MILLZ. Hold on. I'll show you what you can actually see what he looks like, because we don't know what Chuck Tingle looks like.
I mean,
you could have. He was in St. Louis.
There's not a single thing about QUAN MILLZ here that looks like it's of any less quality than Chuck Tingle.
So that's a picture of the actual QUAN MILLZ right there. He may be the guy on some of these covers.
These are real, right across his face.
These are real books, I'm pretty sure. Even he can't believe that they published them.
This motherfucker is the published author. Can you believe that shit?
That's your homework for this weekend, kids, is to go look up QUAN MILLZ and enjoy his work. Okay, let's get to the meat and potatoes of the show here. I did say that Jesse stepped down from Doge. Of course, I was joking, but Elon Musk did step down from Doge recently, just a couple days ago. He is no longer part of the Trump administration, and what an end to a strange relationship there, right? Like, that was glad that's over. I'll drink to that and literally anything else. Here you go.
I honestly thought that was something that happened a while ago. He stepped away sometime back, right? Because we haven't heard anything about them in a while.
Yeah, he stepped away, but he was still doing his job, whatever that is.
Because I think he was still overseeing them. I think he just wasn't doing as much hands-on work, is my understanding.
These Republicans are going crazy. They're going crazy.
Yeah.
Did you see the town hall with I don't know her name, some old white woman. I think her name was Old Haggard Bitch, or
I think I know the one you're talking about. Where she said that they everybody there was just overreacting.
They're being hysterical. That their booing was hysteria, because a woman got up and she worked for some department of the agriculture in that state, and she talked about, and they started to applaud her until she said how she lost her job because of Trump's cutbacks. And as she asked this woman, who is a Congress or is some kind of political official, about it, the woman just said, I disagree. I'm from that area and I know a lot of great programs that they got. So the person that doesn't do the job told the person that does the job they know more about the job. And if that isn't a Trump level excuse there, I don't know what is. Nobody knows more about anything than Trump. He is the smartest man. He is the brain of 1,000 Hendrixes.
And Shannon, clearly this woman was just busted by AOC and Kamala Harris. They bust her and they paid her to talk at this town hall. She's a paid actor, not real.
Yeah, obviously.
Oh god, that let's just not waste time. We could just keep this thing going. Normally I like to spend a little time on these stories, but with Elon Musk, he's out, thank God. Hopefully that's the end of that stupid thing, and hopefully we don't have to listen to Elon Musk anymore. His companies are failing. He is a failure. He wasn't funny on SNL. Send him back to wherever he came from, which I can...
You say he's a failure, but he's even though his companies aren't doing great, he's still richer than he's ever been.
Well, sure, but A lot of times people that are failures are rich through no fault of their own. Donald Trump,
our president,
had a lot of money at one point in time.
No one who gets past a certain point of wealth has actually earned anything.
Right.
Like at that level. You only earn a certain amount. After that, you're just being given it.
Yeah.
Right. After that,
You're
it's
actually doing
exploitation.
anything.
And I would like to hit that level. Where people just give me money.
Just
Like-
give it to me.
Just give it to me.
Because they did have like there are like some rich people that I kind of like. Well, Jim Irsay, the owner of the Colts, recently passed away. He did a lot of stuff with it. Like his favorite thing to do with his money was make other people happy. This was the guy that, like, you guys may have heard in the news, the whale that was stuck. Like he bought a jet to try to airlift the whale out of there to save its life. Didn't work. But, you know, they said that we're going to need all this money and this jet and everything to do it, and he fronted the bill. He was also pretty famous for showing up, like, at random practices and stuff and just giving $100 bills to kids in the crowd.
How many homeless people did he drive by to get to his jet to go get that whale?
Oh, he didn't drive.
Just out of curiosity.
Take them.
How many homeless people was he driven by?
Yeah. Or did they just tape a bunch of homeless people together and put it under his car like an old Flintstones mobile?
Why would you have to tape them together?
Well, you don't want them to get loose. You don't want loose homeless people running around.
That's what we've already got.
Well, they're not really running, Hunter. They're walking up and down the street with a sign at best. Most of them stay stationary.
According to the Republicans in the Cave Driver subreddit, I think most of them spend their time on that corner at Freedom Park or whatever.
Oh, damn it. Now I forgot what I was going to say a second ago. Oh, it was the fake news thing. So the one of the other things I want to talk about, this is the real fun one I want to talk about, is that did you see all the stuff going down this week with Putin, with Vladimir Putin? I love talking about Vladimir Putin. Everybody hates Vladimir Putin, right?
No.
So
Sure.
he, when asked about Donald Trump's criticisms of him recently, because Trump and Putin are close, man. They're like, you know what I mean? They're it. Putin, I'm paraphrasing, I forget the exact term, but Putin basically said that Trump was like over emotional. He said his emotions were too high. At which point, I mean, like, good God, just slapped the shit out of Donald Trump publicly there. I need to see exactly what he said. He said he had an emotional overload. Is what he said Trump has had.
So he's calling him a woman.
You said it, not me.
That's because she
I
can.
figured if I said it, it would be a little less offensive.
Yeah, because I've always worried about that. And now Trump is like going after Putin and talking about how he did an interview. He was going to the helicopter, Air Force One or whatever it was, and one of the reporters asked him about it, and he strongly said, "I don't like what he's doing. I don't like it at all." And then he told the reporter, "Are you a real reporter or one of the fake reporters?" And I thought, are we still doing this?
Yeah.
Is this still a fucking thing?
Yes. And it will never stop now. Now that they've normalized it, it'll never fucking stop. Not under his regime anyway, and not under anybody who follows him from that point.
Shannon, did you hear about Taco?
Oh yeah, his
That's such a
tariffs.
nasty term.
Yeah,
That's such a nasty term.
question.
Yeah, Trump always chickens out.
Yes. Hashtag.
He did not handle that well either.
I like it.
They're starting to come
The only
down
thing
on him
I
all
don't-
over the place. They're dunking on him everywhere.
One thing I don't like about it is what a fucking insult to tacos. Like,
Right.
Or the singer
tacos are
Taco.
amazing.
He's such a good singer.
I said what I said.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
This is one of the I think he was the former president of either Finland or maybe he was former president of some high-ranking official overseas. When they were talking about it, he said, God, I have to find the exact quote, but it ended with him saying basically World War III. And I thought, well, that's not good, because as much as I'd like to believe that we would still win World War III if it came down to it, I also don't know, because this is Trump. Who the fuck knows?
The problem with winning something like World War III is that a whole bunch of people lose.
No one really wins
Because you know
World
nukes
Wars.
are going to come into
Yeah,
play.
you survive.
Yeah, this could be the beginning of Fallout. So Tanner, I hope you've been saving up your bottle caps.
All of it.
Soda can tabs count?
Oh yeah, can tabs count. Me and Shelby are going to be
Those are change.
Yeah,
like
that's
if
the-
the bottle caps are dollars, those are change.
Those are basically
So-
the pennies of the
Would they be
Fallout world.
$half at least?
I'm stockpiling the other stuff we stockpile and Fallout.
You got red roaches?
ammo. Like, hell.
If there was ever anything, I look at Tanner and go, what does he stockpiling for the group? It's definitely ammo and guns.
Well, if Fallout's taught me anything, if Tanner has a safe somewhere, it has like 2 bottles of Coke, about 4 or 5 loose bullets, and like a broken gun in it somewhere.
It's all taped together. It's pre-Fallout.
And,
Fallout.
and Monopoly money, because they put actual paper money in the ones in Fallout, and they're worth nothing except for as cloth, and you can sell them to people.
I always wondered who the ad geniuses were that decided that bottle caps would be the future currency. Like
They're hardy. That was the whole thing. It was supposed to be something that could survive.
And it does.
I thought you would have known that. You went into a bunch of Fallout lore. Yeah, they were worried about paper money because it's so not hardy. It's basically just cloth. Where bottle caps are harder to fuck up, pretty much. Even if they're bent and broken and whatever, they still operate the same.
Yeah, no, I didn't know that. I never knew.
Money still survives.
Yep.
Yeah, the money still survives.
Well,
though.
there is some money, but there's not anywhere near as much as before. Not to mention, it's very easy to set on fire. It's harder to travel with and know how much you've got to work with. They do use gold too, obviously. 76 is its main
Which
story
makes
is
more
going
sense.
around
Yeah,
gold if you can get your
bullion.
hands on it. Well, but there's only so much of it to go around. That's the thing. So yeah.
Yeah, bottle caps as a currency still, though, did confuse me a little bit. I guess, in a society like that, as long as everybody agrees that they have value, then they do.
Well, which corporations managed to stick around into the apocalypse and wanted to position themselves as a big deal? Vaultec was long gone, but Nuka-Cola still had distribution plants that still worked. So they positioned themselves as somebody who still had a bunch of value and worth.
Jesse, you got to watch the show, man,
I have watched the show.
and then read the extra stuff.
And then do a whole bunch of homework.
I actually
expanded
did.
lore.
I listened to a lot of that Fallout lore podcast when I didn't have an audiobook to listen to.
Oh, here you go. I didn't even think about this because I was looking just out of curiosity. It's also difficult to counterfeit a bottle cap. It's hard to make one that isn't an actual thing, that it doesn't
That's
count
true.
as currency. And there's not that many of them. So while there's a bunch of paper money, there's less of these things. And when the agreed upon deal was use those, then it made it, so that there was a dedicated amount of currency. We're not producing more and that kind of thing.
I do wonder, to Tanner's point, there has to be someone in that world that when they show up and they pull out their bottle caps, they just look at them and go, "The fuck is that? I don't want bottle caps.
Right.
Bring me clothes, bring me food, bring me, I don't want your bottle
Barter
caps."
system.
And there's plenty of barter. Yeah,
Right.
that's still a thing. I mean, you can even do that in the game, to be fair. Because you sell you just have a trade currency of caps. They just put a cap value on it.
Yeah, still bottle caps.
So it comes back to that. Yeah.
One kid, when Fallout 4 came out, one person did this. They sent in I forget how many it was, but they sent in a shit ton of bottle caps. They mailed them to Bethesda to buy a copy of Fallout 4, and Bethesda did it. To be fair,
And they took it.
yeah,
Yeah, that's cool.
but they also said, "This is the only one, guys. Do not send us a shit ton of bottle caps."
I must have missed this in 76, but something else that I did not know that was the precursor for that. Why did they choose to do that? So apparently, at one point in time, at the White Spring Resort, which is in 76, they were used as currency in the resort shops. So if you bought a soda on premises, you could use the bottle cap to buy stuff in their shops, and then that kind of spread from there.
Oh.
So they were one of the first groups to do that.
Boy,
Oh, that's neat.
I hope the exchange was less, because if you could buy a soda pop and then take that cap and buy another soda pop, you could have endless soda
They
pops.
didn't think this through very
They didn't
well.
think it through very well.
It's just a really clever
Why does it
recycling.
cost 15 bottle caps to get another bottle of Nuka-Cola?
Because we know what you'll do with it, you poor bastard.
This is just turning into Ron White's thing. I'll give you 30 coupons for a cheese burrito.
Oh, we're having fun talking about Fallout and nuclear war and Putin. Let's talk about something else.
Ruin it for us.
Well, the Diddy trial continued this week, and
there it is.
Former employee testified. This could be the worst one here. So, I was reading it the other day. I don't know. See where her exact. So her name is
searching.
Her name is Mia. It's not her real name. That's just the name she's going by for this. And she was his assistant, his ex-assistant. And well, let's just read a little bit about it. Mia, who worked as Combs' personal assistant and for Revolt Films from 2009 to 2017, said he sexually assaulted her on multiple occasions. Speaking in nearly a whisper and sometimes breaking into tears, she said the first time Combs sexually assaulted her was a few months into employment for his 40th birthday. I'm going to spare you, but basically he sexually assaulted her over and over and over again until I believe she stepped in whenever Cassie was beaten, and then he fired her for it. So he also physically assaulted her, threw objects at her, yelled at her, called her a worthless piece of crap. He threw a bowl of spaghetti at her. That's
I'm sorry.
Very specific.
I've been watching a lot of Sunny while I put together all these Lego sets that we got, and now all I can hear is I'm to remember every man I've seen fall into a plate of spaghetti.
What is your spaghetti policy here, Hunter?
In another incident,
there isn't one.
When Diddy's Wi-Fi didn't work, he threw a computer at her head, but he missed. She then described the work environment as toxic.
Does he not know that it's probably the uke? When the uke falls off, hits the laptop, now he can't get to his sites. Now it's her problem.
Yeah.
Combs would ask her to do 17,000 things at one time, ranging from cracking his knuckles for him to writing his next movie to doing his taxes. She wasn't allowed to leave his home without permission, and only Combs' security personnel were allowed to lock the doors.
So the Chappelle Show skit wasn't that far off, right?
Not that
Did he
far
make her
off.
go get some Cambodian breast milk for him to drink too, or?
Oh God. Yeah. So it goes on from this, like she was there when he choked her. He was there when he beat her. Like, it's bad. The only way I could see Sean Combs getting out of this at this point, you know, I'm going to go with this, is if he's pardoned by Donald Trump, like the Chrisleys. Yes.
Yeah.
Who committed all kinds of tax fraud and stuff, and were absolutely convicted based on evidence, but because they're Christian conservatives, he got them out of jail. Meanwhile, the Tiger King is rotting.
And all he needs is about $2 million and an 8-ball of coke, and he'll be fine.
Where is the justice for Joe Exotic? Like, seriously, what does Joe Exotic got to do to get a Trump pardon? Even I want Trump to pardon Joe Exotic.
Be popular again. That's the problem. Yeah. That's what it is. Why would Trump attach his name to it? If not, that whole thing sunk. Did they ever even release the scripted series version where it was Kate McKinnon was going to play
I don't
her?
think so.
And
no, I think they canceled it.
I don't even think that came out. And I was going to say, if it's going to come out, they're well past their prime at this point. No one is going to care.
But I think the Tiger King originally came out in 2020 because it happened right during COVID. It was right during my breakup. So Trump was on his way out. You know, he was on his way out when this thing was the most popular. Yeah, and now Joe Exotic's just the butt of a joke. Why would he ever free them or free him?
Yeah, what's he going to get out?
What's he going to get out of it?
The Grizzlies, on the other hand, will probably get a revamping of their series.
Oh, they've already got a show. It's already coming.
Yeah,
it's already.
And there you go.
Yeah,
that's it. That's the bit. What have you done for Donald Trump in the last 5 minutes? That's the thing that needs to be known.
I'm gonna take a drink real quick. You guys handle this for a second.
You really, really have to kiss his ass. I know, Hunter, you probably watched that John Oliver bit about like him in the news.
Yes.
Yeah. God damn, that was fucking pathetic.
Yeah, it's very sad.
I hate that man and everyone that runs with him.
Shannon, I need to see his workout routine.
Oh my God.
When is he going to drop the video with him and RFK? The workout video.
Oh my God.
I thought the show I thought the show was going to be a lot of fun.
You were wrong.
I'm second guessing myself now.
We'll move on to a different topic. What else can be said about
Yes.
that? What else you got for us?
There was some more Trump stuff.
Actually, that was it, right?
Have
The
any
things you advertised, that was
non-Trump
it.
Stuff.
That's the big thing.
It was Musk, it was Putin, it was Diddy.
Yeah.
I mean, you kind of set yourself up for failure here, man.
Well, there's still part of me that wants to report like genuine news instead of just talking about, video games and shit like that.
I don't
It just
disagree with the notion.
me.
But I was gonna say when you front load it with a bunch of sad shit.
Meanwhile,
You gotta go up and down.
We're
you know?
not. Here's the important part. We're not breaking news most of the time, right? Most of the time,
We're
unless it just
reacting to
happen to
news.
happen here, we do this once a week. So it's the John Oliver show. We're reacting
It's
to it.
reactionary.
So we don't really have to follow the if it bleeds, it leads mentality. Like
No.
we can do fun shit too.
Sydney Sweeney's putting out a new soap bar that includes her bathwater.
Yeah.
That's not real, right?
Dr.
Well,
Squatch. No,
Yeah, she's
that's
teaming
real.
up with Dr. Squatch to create bathwater bliss, complete with a certificate confirming it's made from the very water she's bathed in. So I hope you really disgusting nerds out there, you got your check, you got mom, you
know what?
pay grandma for the rub
If
down.
it gets them to use soap, sure.
You know what? She's got a point. I
ain't mad.
I don't hate that notion.
No, but
Because I'm not looking forward to the funk I'm going to smell this weekend.
but they're
That's
not.
correct.
But they're not going to use the soap. They're just going to like smell it while they masturbate.
It can be
Sorry,
two
it got
things.
too real for
It can be
everybody.
two things.
That's
It
what's
can be
going to
two
happen.
Well, then they need to put instructions that when they're going to masturbate, they need to use the bar of soap.
No one clip that and add it to the soundboard, please.
Maybe at the very least take 2 bars of the Sydney Sweeney bath water and put your penis between them, and then when you're thrusting
my
into
God.
it, at least you're cleaning it.
What we're ignoring in this conversation is that is not generally the part that's causing the funk when you're around people. Like, usually they're clothed.
I don't know, man. If that ninja's dick stink that bad,
So yeah, this is real, which is fucking wild. They're using the bathwater
Jesse didn't
from.
believe us.
I had to know.
he wanted
because
to
there's
believe
no way
that life was
especially-
better.
Right, especially like Dr. Squatch is like a fairly reputable brand.
I use it. I buy it in the big pack.
Yeah, okay, but Sydney Sweeney is like the it girl, so of course they would do that. You know?
So Sydney Sweeney appeared in a Dr. Squatch commercial,
As a genie.
advertising the. I guess they have body wash now, and in that commercial, she was in bath water.
Yes.
They're using the water from that bath to create 5,000 bars of soap that are available for purchase at only $8 a piece, starting June 6th.
Jesse, she needed money after
Holy.
that spider psychic
Spider-Woman.
movie. What was it called?
Oh no, she got
Madam
paid
Web.
handily for that. Why would she need
Madam
money
Web.
for that? She got paid. It doesn't matter how
Yeah,
well
like,
the movie did
royalties
unless
aren't
she
gonna
gets some kind of
happen,
back
but-
end deal. Right.
Yeah, she got money.
And actually, those probably aren't going to be that bad either because nobody went to see it in the theater, and then it's one of those, it's so bad, I got to see how bad it is, so they're going to watch it on streaming services. I'm sure it's up there.
I'm
Or
talking
it was when
more.
it came out.
I'm talking more about the damage to her reputation that she could have suffered. I don't know if she
There's
did.
no way. There's
What's-
no way.
What's
There's
she
no way.
done?
It wasn't her fault.
What's she done since then? And I don't mean that like accusably. I'm seriously asking what she's
She
done
did that
since then.
huge romantic comedy with Glenn Powell. I don't remember what it was called, but that
Was
came
that-
out after that, if I remember correctly.
No, it came out before, or Madam Web came out after Anyone But You. The only thing she's done since
man.
Madam Web is Immaculate and Eden.
And Immaculate was not good. I didn't watch Eden.
I'm not saying that. I'm not-
Either way, no
not for the
part of me
record.
thinks that Madam Web ruined
Yeah,
her reputation.
I was gonna
That's
say
not-
I'm not saying obviously that happened. Obviously, it was just a joke. I think Sydney Sweeney's gonna be fine. She seems like a perfectly nice young lady. I can't imagine her career not taking off.
Yeah, I was about to say she has 7 upcoming projects.
Yeah.
She's still in Euphoria.
She's in the
she
Split
has-
Fiction movie. That's right. She's gonna be in Split Fiction.
Yeah, she's gonna be in
Yeah,
Split
and
Fiction,
that
Mask of
the
the Red Dead.
Housemaid that comes out this year. The Housemaid is based on a hugely popular book, book series actually.
Yeah, she'll be fine.
Plus, yeah,
rumors that she
Yeah.
might be in the Spider-Man movie as another character.
Get the stink of that Spider-Woman character. Although, again, man, if you told me, hey, who would you
That's
see?
part of that movie.
Yeah, I would say, who would you see as the best Spider-Woman? I would say Sydney Sweeney. She looks exactly like her. Like, it's ridiculous.
which Spider Woman?
The blonde, the one she played in the movie. Yeah, hold on, I'm looking it up because I don't remember her name. Jessica, maybe. Jasmine, Julia
Jessica
Cornwall.
Drew? Yeah, Jessica Drew
Jessica
is
Drew.
I think she would be a pretty solid Jessica Drew, but that is not who she played in the movie.
No, she was Julia Cornwall, but that's at least the picture I'm seeing. That's the person I thought of. Is this not the same person? I'm sending a picture real quick. Do they just have, because they have this as Julia Carpenter, but that's who I was thinking of. And isn't that who she played in the film?
Carpenter, I didn't think so.
All right, here's a picture of her from the movie.
She was Julia Cornwall in the movie.
That's the same character, though. Look at that. That's the exact same character.
Yeah, certainly the same costume. Wonder if it's
I think they just changed her last name, maybe,
yeah, it looks like it.
for reasons.
Because if you Google Julia Cornwall,
Really
it pulls up
context
Julia
for the
Carpenter.
Listener.
All right,
Yeah, that
well,
is definitely
I'm going
the
to
same
hand the
costume.
show over to Hunter real quick, and you can go ahead and host the rest of it. I'll just sit here and drink.
I'm just like, no one can see any fucking thing you're talking about.
Fucking put me through Steven at the beginning of the week. I'll go through Hunter at the end of the week. By the end of this fucking show, I won't have any friends.
Well, how did we get here?
Hunter, just do the names. Do the names, and then we'll move on to the top 5.
Okay.
Do the names.
Is that really what you want?
Yes,
Do
go
you
ahead.
Want to finish this conversation?
No, I'm done with the conversation.
See, now I feel like he's really mad and it's not funny anymore.
You never know with me.
I know.
That's
you
the
sound
problem.
sarcastic all the time.
That's the problem.
Hey, gobble
Welcome
gobble
to my world.
flakes. Bronx Brown the clown.
I like that.
I like
one.
this one. The trees that exist. # help a beaver out.
If only that one didn't come from such a tragedy with what happened to Zach. Well, you know, for the
Tanner
record,
Tanner, the woman fire. Yes.
I think we should. I don't want to leave it as the tragedy that happened to Zach, and the people out there going like, "What happened to Zach? He's fine. There was just an incident, a little car accident. He's fine."
Yeah. Less little for some people than it was for others.
Yes.
That makes it sound even worse.
I know.
Well, I'm done explaining.
Dial-up Buzzbeard. I like this one. My metal anus, or in parentheses, manus.
That's by the creators of Teenges.
Doc Brown the Dragon. You heard the genesis of that one. The Muscle Bound Cat Diaries.
I love that one.
Capitalism Elmo.
That's a good one too.
Criminy Cave Hopper, or Criminy. I don't know what the goal was there.
I don't know what his drunk ass was thinking.
Purple Yeti Gun.
That's a Kaz one.
I don't know that this is even a word. Hot dog in deviated strike.
No, I can confirm that's not a word. I made that up during an incident.
And
Incident.
and this one describes the situation. The doo-doo wizard fixed our tally problem.
Shelby, you want to explain that one real quick?
Save me 25 scoops.
What?
I feel like that should be. I feel like that should be the tagline.
We'll explain it real quick. So Shelby bought a litter robot, like the litter robot 4. We had a problem with one of our cats. The reason we had to buy an automatic cat box in the first place is because she got to a point where if the box was scooped immediately after she went, that litter was no longer usable to her.
It's
so
like
we
the
needed to
movie
use it
Signs.
automatically.
Oh, Tally is the cat. It took me a minute. I was like, "Where's the Tally?" And then I completely forgot you guys.
Yeah, Tally is
It's
the
not
name of
spelled
the
like
cat.
this either. So that's what's throwing me off.
Oh, did whoever changed that
There it
spell
is.
it wrong?
Yeah, tally is in tally.
Because I did it. I just heard the phrase and I was like, okay, well, I think I did anyway. Maybe someone
No,
else
because
did.
Shannon did it while we were at his house.
Fixing
That's
the
right, because
couch.
he had me read it later. That's what it was.
Yep. Yeah, Tally should be TALI.
TALI.
But this is funnier because that's I spent a whole week not knowing what this was.
But I had to install an app on my phone to register or get started.
Well,
on
sure.
the robot, right?
Sure.
But the cool thing is it tells me their weights, like when they get in there, when they get out, it identifies which cat's in there, all this other stuff. But it also keeps track of how many times I would have had to scoop had I, not purchased this.
It's proving its worth to you.
Yes, it's telling me, look, I did this for you this many times. Love me.
I like the idea that Shelby.
Please don't return me.
I like the idea Shelby would get a
The machine
notification.
needs validation.
She would get a notification on her phone, and she would turn to Jesse and show it to him and say, "Look, Tally's in the litter box." Like they're at a concert or something, and she goes, "Tally's in there." And Jesse goes, "Cool. What an age we live in."
Weirdly enough, every time I open that app, it's like, do you want me to send you notifications? And I'm like, no, because when I look at the history that it has logged, my cat gets in there like every 10 to 15 minutes. It's not always using it. Sometimes it just wants to set its butt in the litter.
You're just
Your phone battery would be dead in 23 minutes if you turned that on.
your phone. It's just going to have a notice that just says your cat's poop a lot.
Yeah, maybe you should take this one to the vet. I'm like, no, we already have. That's why we have you.
And the last piece of this puzzle, the doo-doo wizard. So in this app, you can name the litter box.
I named it the doo-doo wizard. It makes it go away magically.
So the doo-doo wizard fixed our Tally problem. Now you have the whole story.
There it is.
I'm pretty sure that's what they've already nicknamed the actor playing Snape in the new Harry Potter.
No.
Oh,
Doo-doo wizard.
Because they're not
blow.
not happy about that. Also, apparently Hermione's slightly darker than normal. Tanner, go
exactly
ahead.
how it's described in the book.
Yeah, well, don't tell that to the what's a word I could say that won't get me in trouble? Republicans.
No.
Because they
I got to tell you, sometimes I hate Harry Potter fans. As a Harry Potter fan,
I hate any fandom.
yes.
As a fan in general, I just hate the fandom.
Yeah.
I wouldn't ruin
Yeah,
it.
it's generally bad.
Probably the worst part of any.
That's what Hunter always said about wrestling. He's right.
Borderlands is the exception. The worst part about that is the creator.
It can be two
but also
things.
the people who shit on Harry Potter fans just because they like Harry Potter. Fuck you too.
Well, yeah. I mean, anybody like what you like, just don't be a dick about it. That's what Wrestling with Regret says.
Well,
I think the cast looks fine for the record of Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Like I think the guy that
Seriously.
plays Snape actually looks like he's going to be fucking wicked in that part. John
He's
Lithgow
also age appropriate. John Lithgow is Dumbledore.
as Dumbledore. I'm so happy about that.
So I'm learning all of this right now.
Nick Frost
Right
as
now,
Hagrid.
Dumbledore and Frost is Hagrid.
Yeah, Hagrid.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
Right.
I think it'll be good. Tanner, would you say you're the biggest Harry Potter fan here? Maybe.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
Probably,
don't know why you're
yes.
asking me. Yeah.
Tanner,
I mean,
No one's going to dispute it.
how
I don't
frustrating.
think-
No, I'm
Uh-oh.
sure he probably likes it more than I do. I don't know. I don't know how big of a fan he is. I'm a pretty big fan, but I wouldn't say I'm the biggest fan.
He does handle his wang a lot.
I named my child Lily.
I've never read Harry Potter, so that that reference
This
goes
is
over
my
my
I
head.
don't have a
Mom's
child. I'm not
Okay.
exactly sure what that
she has many wands.
I have the wand that would have been assigned to me had I chosen it at Ollivander's. I have a robe for my house.
Well,
Yeah, I mean,
They don't make shit like that.
same Z's.
let me ask Shelby and Tanner then, how does it feel to be a part of a series where the worst part about the series is the fandom and also the creator, and also like this is one of those things that there's a lot of things wrong with this one.
Again,
Yeah.
like I said, I'm not saying I'm the biggest fan. I have shit from that franchise. I don't really like the creator all that much.
Most franchise
That's
creators
bitch.
did something terrible. You know Tolkien, right? That did Lord of the Rings?
Yes.
We're acquainted, yes.
Ate a kid.
Aware of his existence.
Uh-huh.
No, well, don't say that.
He did.
shit.
He did.
He
He ate a
do that.
kid. He was
did
out there
Don't say that,
looking for whores and hot dogs. What else? All right. Let's get
Yeah, I do wish that like people could
J.K.
say that,
Rowling.
like Harry Potter without like immediately like a huge portion of the population assuming that like I'm anti-trans because they say I like Harry Potter. That's kind of a bummer.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I hate generalizations in general.
Like,
Wow. Wait, so Tanner?
J.K. Rowling, she's a bitch. I hate her, but she doesn't have control over the Harry Potter franchise anymore unless she creates new content.
She still
No,
gets
but she
money
still
for it.
makes a lot of money.
Yeah,
on
she's
it.
gonna take a piece no matter what. And to be fair, as much as I hate her, she should take a piece. It was her
Yeah,
creation.
she earned it.
Yeah. Like I hate her too. Don't get me wrong, but like to take, it's kind of like when they took Star Wars away from George Lucas. But at least he sold it not because he did anything
I was gonna
terrible.
say, they didn't take it away from
Right,
him.
he sold
it, and that's. I really wish she would have sold this shit a long time ago.
Yeah.
But she didn't, right? They did take it away from her, kind of, right? Like they basically just said.
Yeah, she still owns an awful lot of
Still has
stake in it.
creative
Yeah.
rights.
But she has nothing to do with the TV show, right? She had nothing to do with the game.
This is strictly
Right.
Mac and Warner Bros.
Yeah, it's one of those things where like WB grabbed like all television, video game, and all of those rights for Harry Potter. Like she did sell those to WB, but in the contract she makes money off of, or she makes a portion of whatever money they make. But she doesn't have any like creative control. She maintains though everything written. So if like any more written products were to come out of Harry Potter, like
And any new stories that are written for film, like the Fantastic Beasts films, she had kind of creative control. She had final say over what went into those films.
I didn't think that was true. I thought WB could do whatever they wanted with those.
She wrote the first one herself.
Huh.
The book or the adaptation, the screenplay.
The adaptation, the screenplay and the adaptation, but she wrote the first one herself, and then even with The Cursed Child, while somebody else wrote it, she was in the room during a lot of the story building, so she still had a hand in storytelling.
I'm sorry, I could only see her in the room with the guy writing it, and she's just walking behind him all the time, going like, "What are you writing?" I'm just. Anyway, let's move on to the top 5 of the night because I simply can't be bothered anymore. Lindsay, what is the top 5 for the evening?
Our top 5 favorite roguish characters in honor of Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Now, the only disqualifications from this, of course, are Robin Hood himself and Rogue. You can't use her just because of the name.
Well, that's because she's not roguish.
She's not
literally
roguish.
rogue.
She's just Rogue.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
So for this one, I only have one written down so far, but I know the rest. But I'm going to go first because I don't want to lose the
hang
one.
on,
We're
hang
going
on.
to do a draft
Oh,
style.
shit. We are doing draft style.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, okay. All right. You got that,
Yeah, I was
Hunter?
gonna say, I do, and I mean, you're not gonna like it, but I'm gonna copy the whole thing so that it's very clearly open. So
Last
I
time.
ran the report. Here's what it is: you're not last. You're dead in the center.
Oh, that's fine. I'll take middle. I'll take Monkey in the
Yeah.
middle.
Yeah, that's the list, and I can show you that is the first time I've run it because if I run it again, it shows that I run it a second time.
Oh.
So that's the first one.
I don't think
It's
there's
the only
anyone.
one.
I don't think there's anyone here that doesn't trust you on this. Maybe Dalton.
I'm just putting it out there.
All right.
Um,
I'll let you take over on this
yeah,
one.
now
then.
remember this is snake draft, so
Yeah.
whoever's at the ends of the lists are going to be they're going to be going twice, and we're going to run backwards through the list afterward. I need to bring that back up in just a second, but that's fine. So it is me first, which is why I was like, hey, just so we're clear, I didn't do that multiple times, and probably no big surprise, and probably on everybody's list, I'm taking Han Solo right out of the gate.
Yeah.
I didn't even try to put him on there because I knew who he'd going to be.
Okay.
It was-
I thought
it was
you
really-
didn't think of him, and I was like, bullshit. There's
It
no
was
way
right
you
order. I
didn't
thought
think of
like
him.
there's a chance I go before Hunter and I could snag Han Solo, but
Yeah. Not only is Han Solo one of my all-time favorite characters, but he is probably for me the definition of a roguish character. I mean, when I first, even became aware of what Star Wars was, I don't know that there were really other characters like that in media that I had watched or read or anything. He, like I said, he was the definition of that kind of character. He's working outside the rule of law. He's the charming, puckish type. Yeah, he's the epitome of a rogue. So. Han Solo, right out of the gate.
I think he's the archetype that everyone builds their rogues on, at least in some
yeah,
part.
especially in games like that, or you know, right. If you're writing something, filming something, whatever, he very much fills that role nowadays.
And and will always be the best. Anyway, sorry.
No, it's okay. I could not pick him first. Tanner is up next.
Since we talked about Harry Potter, I'm going to go ahead and bump this one to the front of the list. Sirius Black.
Oh, he was on my short list.
Yeah, he's one of the best
Sirius Black.
role characters. It's just unfortunately
Gary Oldman?
It's unfortunate. Gary Oldman's character, yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
It's just unfortunate that we only get him really in 2 films and 3 books.
What happened to him? I really don't know. Don't tell me. I'll watch it eventually. Yeah, I like.
I'll believe that when I see it.
Was he a werewolf, or am I thinking of a different guy?
He's no. You're thinking of another guy. He can turn into a dog. You're thinking of Remus Lupin.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's werewolf-esque in
Gotcha.
that way. Remus is a
Were-dog.
werewolf.
Yeah,
Remus is
with
a
Lord
werewolf.
Animagus.
Some wizards and witches can turn into specific animals.
So, Hunter, I have a Star Wars character on mine too, but I'm going to save him. I'm not going to do him first because there's only one that I'm worried about someone taking, and I want to get him out of the way now.
Okay. Well, yeah, it is your turn. You're up. So what do you got?
It's that wascally wabbit Bugs Bunny.
Oh, that's a good one. He doesn't really work outside the rule of law so much as he just works outside the rules in general.
Yes, he works outside of the rules of decency for sure.
Running around with no goddamn pants on.
Just straight naked.
With nothing.
Yeah, I always just that big carrot dangling. Not like the guy on the cover of that book. Yeah, no, when I think of like rogues and like the really slick, charming, sleight of hand type people, the ones that you love, but at the same time you don't fully trust them. I mean, it's Bugs Bunny, right? That guy, I saw him put dynamite in a cake once. I can't trust a man that puts dynamite inside of a cake.
I suspect it was more than once. But
Yes.
whether he did it more than once or whether you saw it more than once, I suspect that's true across the board.
He's also a master of disguise. You know? Did you ever?
Yeah.
Did you when he dressed up as a girl? Like, did you ever?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that one time.
I don't remember how the joke goes. I don't remember how it goes.
It's Wayne's World. He goes,
Right.
when Bugs Bunny was dressed up as a girl, did you ever find him attractive? And then they both just
No.
laugh for like a minute straight and then go, no.
I'm done. Bugs Bunny. That's my pick. I hope it's not Lindsay. She's leaving.
Okay. It is Lindsay.
Oh.
She's gone.
I'm
She's
not
back.
leaving. I was letting Croft out.
Just letting off
But
Cat.
I am starting off with Flynn Rider.
Yeah. I assume Shannon's going to be upset about that one.
Too drunk.
I mean, to be fair, he and I discussed part of our list earlier today. So.
Oh,
Don't remember it.
That's insider trading right there.
I don't remember it if it makes you feel better.
He was very out of it during that car ride, so yeah.
For different reasons, for the record.
Flynn Rider
I
also
know.
very much an archetype of a rogue.
Flynn is a great character, or Eugene, if you will. But yeah, no. Tangled is a great film. He is a great character in it, and I will put him at the top of my list any day.
All right.
Okay. Jesse.
All right.
I'm last.
Yeah, but that means you get to go twice.
Yeah, you get to
That's
double
true.
up.
Yep.
All right. The first one I'm going to take is Gambit.
Ooh. I didn't
I
think
didn't
of Gambit
about
for
that.
this.
Yeah, I didn't.
How
I
on
know.
earth did you guys not think of Gambit?
I did.
Well, when I think of rogues, I tend to think of people who are, like I said, working outside the law, which I guess to a certain degree, the X-Men do that to some degree.
Well,
Not
yeah,
X-Men,
yeah,
Gambit
before
very
he was an X-Men.
specifically.
Yeah, Gambit specifically is
Yeah,
definitely
well-
a criminal.
But when I think of Gambit, I think of like full-fledged X-Man Gambit, not so much like
The pre-Gambit
you
Gambit.
know, right? Yeah.
I mean, I guess if all you're thinking of is like X-Men animated series, but even in that, like they talk about his past, like how he had.
But
Like,
there-
I'm-
yeah,
Yeah,
but there's like
importantly,
a
I'm
few
not
episodes.
disagreeing. I just didn't think of him.
Yeah, no, Gambit, once he gets to the X-Men, is like a completely different beast from pre-X-Men. Pre-X-Men Gambit is just a straight-up, like, New Orleans street hustler. and a criminal. He was the most interesting X-Men character. He breathed life back into it for sure. Everybody loved Gambit. And Gambit was my favorite back in the day. Now it's Cyclops because I don't have excitement. But it was Gambit back then.
Yeah, I mean, Gambit is like a definition roguish character.
Do you remember they didn't call him
charming,
especially animated Gambit? Like that's just
he.
Like original animated Gambit.
Danny Tatum would like a word. Thank you very much.
No, it's still early.
See if you could understand what the hell he's saying.
That's the Gambit he's making. So
I'm sorry, sweetheart. I didn't get a word on that pass. Can we try that again?
I was trying to find because they didn't call him the right name. I don't remember if it was in the X-Men animated series or what. But his name was not Remy LeBeau. It was something else originally in the TV show, and I remember thinking that's not his name. It's the same way that they started calling Magneto Magnus. Yeah, and I'm like, that's not his name. Yeah, that's just another one. So yeah, but Gambit's a good pick, Jesse. But I think your wife's going to disagree with you.
I don't know if she'll disagree so much, but she will have two other options because she's going to end round 1 and start round 2.
Yep. So my first pick, I'm going to go with Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Motherfucker.
Oh.
Yeah, that was going to be a tough one. Tanner, I can't believe you didn't just immediately take Indiana Jones.
Well, no, he was afraid someone was going to take Remus Williams or whatever his name was.
No,
I think Remus Williams was old Uncle Remus, if I remember correctly.
I was going to give Hunter a chance, but fucking Shelby coming in out of nowhere.
She's
I
ruthless.
still would have had a chance. You would have gone twice before me.
I wasn't going to take him then.
He's sweet.
I mean, that was nice of you. It was a poor decision, but it was nice of you.
No, I think the way I think of it is if Tanner didn't take this one, then whoever's left on his list must be wild.
Yeah, there was a part of me that wanted to just say Harrison Ford and go, can I just have all of them? Is that a cheat code? He's the two greatest rogues of all time, in my opinion.
There's asked that earlier whenever I told her this topic.
Because I mean, you think of Harrison Ford. When you think of rogues, you think of Harrison Ford. He's just the man. Yeah.
And I know there's probably
he should have played Gambit.
Interesting to think about Indiana Jones and go, well, but he's a professor. He works for an institute. Yeah. And then behind everyone else's back, he goes and gets shit that shouldn't be out there in the wild and then puts it in a museum.
Yeah.
Belongs in a museum.
Like that
that's still roguish.
Like the one time he was stuck in that closet with those other people. And then there was two people out in a van on walkie-talkies and, thank you.
I'm going to whip this little bitch. If you wanted chips, you should have got them at the hamburger store.
You don't get chips, Charlie. I had 2 weeks in a row, Shelby. What was last week?
Okay,
Halo? No, Assassin's Creed.
Last week was Assassin's Creed.
Last week
also, I want to point out that Tanner very much brought both of these on himself this week and last week.
To be fair, I had no idea he was going to pick Wrinkle in Time.
It wasn't Wrinkle in Time. It was Assassin's Creed.
That's what I stole from her.
Well, that was the other one.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, that was the other one. Yeah,
don't mind him. He's just
Indiana Jones. Indiana Jones is a great pick. What's your second one?
James Bond.
Yeah,
Also phenomenal pick.
Another great pick.
All right, I left the chat, but I have to get back in there because no one can hear without me.
Yeah,
hey, now they can't. All right, I was about to say the worst part about this. They can't hear our reaction.
I explained it to the crowd at least why I did what I did. Yeah, that's fair.
I will say he was also on my list as an option. I will say there is an argument to be made that James Bond very much works within the system and is employed by the government. So
yeah, but he's roguish.
He's still roguish. Yeah, he goes rogue from his own government all the time.
Right. Tanner, if it makes you feel better.
I like the Sean Connery one though. There's just something about Sean Connery.
Learn a Scottish accent.
I think every Bond has a pretty good rogue feel to it, except I don't see Craig as rogue. I see him more as a blunt instrument. Like they said, he's more of the contract killer.
But in a literal sense, again, he goes rogue.
He goes
from his
rogue specifically.
all the time.
Yeah.
He's always doing things that they're telling him not to fucking do.
Right.
So.
Tanner, if it makes you feel better, Ethan Hunt's still on the list. You got him. Okay.
Hey, let's don't go throwing out options this early.
My bad. My apologies. Who is next?
We're one round through. It's Jesse. We're done one back, so it's Jesse for his second pick.
Okay.
Okay. All right, my next pick. I'm going to go with Star-Lord.
That's also a good choice. Yeah, he was
Taking
up there on the
Marvel
list.
characters off the board.
Yeah. It's not a rogue moment for him, although they do absolutely he gets the best rogue introduction in the Marvel universe with hands down, bar none. Like the opening of the first Guardians movie is him fucking dance kicking his way through those little creatures, taking the fucking orb, and then he gets back onto his ship where a girl he didn't even remember was there is there as he's trying to make an escape. That's rogue.
It was at 100%.
Yeah, not a question.
He is Space Indiana Jones, except it doesn't go into a museum.
It goes to Rocket,
Well,
and that's
he
even
tries.
better.
Yeah, he tries. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, Lindsay.
I'm going to stick with my Disney theme and go with Aladdin.
Damn it. Yeah, I would have taken him eventually, given the opportunity.
See, I never saw him as a rogue. I saw him as a street rat.
I mean, he is absolutely
They can
rogue.
go hand in hand.
It could be two things.
Mhm.
He was
Wait,
born a
does that
street rat, and he'll die a street rat.
Does that make Star-Lord a space rat?
No, that's what he kicks in that cave.
Oh,
He
fuck.
kicks space rat. He runs around kicking the space
He
rat.
has the space rat
No,
on his
Aladdin.
team with the guns.
I like Aladdin. Aladdin fits the. No, he's a trash panda.
Yeah.
Aladdin fits the bill not only from the literal thievery perspective, but also he's something we haven't talked really about up to this point. Most of the time, the rogue is using their brains over their brawn. Like they might be strong, they might be handy and capable, but most of the time they're going to try to outsmart you before they have to actually outfight you.
Right. He's a trickster.
Yeah.
And that's very much him. Yeah, that's very much him. Okay, Aladdin, good choice. Shandon, round two.
It's got to be the Joker. No, I'm kidding. I'd never pick him. Even if he's the right answer, I wouldn't pick him. It's
I don't think he's good sad.
I'm gonna give you my Star Wars. Oh God, I'm torn between two on Star Wars, and I can't decide which one. Do I go with the one that I think is the better choice, or the one I'm more attached to?
Okay, so I have two more Star Wars options on my list. I know one of yours. Actually, I think I know both of yours,
You
but one
probably
of them
do.
is not on my list.
Can you name one of them? And I'll tell you. And if it's the right one, I'll pick it.
Nope. You got to do it.
So the correct answer, which I know you're probably going to go with ultimately, is Lando. It's Lando Calrissian.
No surprise.
Oh, wow.
No.
Okay, well, then I'm not saying anything else.
So
That's
I don't want to make my last two characters. All right, I'll pick the one I know no one's gonna pick, and then an asterisk next to it.
I know who this is.
You probably do, and you're probably the only one that does, because my pick is none other than Dash Rendar,
Yeah, there it is.
a character barely
Dash Rendar,
anyone
AKA
remembers.
AKA, we didn't want to put Han Solo or couldn't put him in this game, so we're going to create this guy.
We made a new Han Solo with his
That's
little
right.
with his little
With
shoulder
blackjack
pads.
and hookers.
Yeah. I thought Dash Rendar was cool as hell. So he was in the Star
He
Wars. What was the 64 game? Empire, the one everyone Shadows of the Empire.
Shadows of the Empire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was in Shadows of the Empire, and it was very, very cool. And then, of course, he was more in the expanded universe. I don't think he's in the actual universe, but Dash Rendar himself is just really, really cool. He's like Han Solo, but a little bit more combat-oriented, and he has a cool ship. I mean, Hunter hit it right on the head, I hate to say. They basically went, we want Han Solo, but we can't put Han Solo in this. Therefore, who is the Mexican...
We'll make another one.
The Mexican non-union equivalent of Han Solo, and it was Dash Rendar. That name alone, come on, Dash
That's a great name.
Rendar.
It's a good name.
If you
That's
say it,
that's even a roguish name.
the slower you say it, the better it works.
He was stalling for time for me. That's
Yes.
why I said it slow.
Yes, I was.
Before we move on from it, not to belabor the Dash Rendar point, but he, if I remember correctly, he was a former soldier, so that was part of it. Not a stormtrooper, but like a former some kind of soldier somewhere. And then the Outrider, his
The
fucking ship
Outrider.
was so cool.
Yes.
Yeah, the Outrider was very, very cool.
So
Very, very big fan of that.
the other Lindsay, do you have any Star Wars characters? Does anyone else have Star Wars characters on their list?
No.
have
I
two
did
more,
not
like I
put
said.
Star Wars on mine.
I
Tank,
have one, but
is he from a recent TV show? No,
He said no.
Jesse.
yeah.
Is he from a really recent TV show that just celebrated season
Well,
2?
We'll come back to it. You don't have another pick right now anyway.
Well, I
so-
didn't want to. I didn't want to pick him, but if Jesse's going to take him, I will. All right, Just out of
Well,
spite.
you already picked.
I
You already
did.
picked Dash Rendar.
I went with Dash Rendar, so let's go on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
You're
Tanner, you're
gonna
up.
have another turn before Jesse, so
Yes,
That's true.
that's true.
I'm gonna
I
take,
don't
I'm
want
gonna
to-
take one of my Star Wars picks right now. Zori Bliss.
I almost picked
That's
her.
who I assumed was one of Shannon's.
Yeah,
That's who I
I-
assumed was the other one.
I almost picked her. That's a good pick.
The character was awesome. Her chemistry with Poe was amazing. The design of her costume was amazing.
Her costume
I
was
love
I
that.
bought her in Fortnite. And you know what's crazy is as soon as I saw her, because you never see her face, but as soon as she spoke, I think Lindsay was watching with me. It was either Lindsay or the other one. And I looked at her and I said, that's Carrie Russell. Like, is that
it
Carrie
was me
Russell?
because I remember you saying that. It was me.
I recognize her voice. I love Carrie Russell. So the fact that they never even showed her face sucks and is also really cool. But yeah, I agree with you on that. Zori Bliss was badass.
Yep.
That's why I play her in Fortnite when we play. All right.
All right, I'm gonna then finish out round 2 and start round 3. And Jesse shot to go back to Spaceballs. Jesse shot a warning shot across my nose, or not across my nose, but up it. Star-Lord was very much going to be one of my choices, but fortunately, he did not choose the correct one for me, which is already been referenced. It's Rocket Raccoon.
What's that? More
Much as I
powerful?
love. Much as I love Star-Lord as a character, Rocket is one of my all-time favorite, not just Marvel characters, but characters in general. And you're already referencing Rivals, but I don't know how often you guys play him in Rivals. I hear this all the time because I play him so regularly, but literally there's one match loading when you're waiting to start things where he shows up. He goes, when the chips are down, you want your heroes a little roguish and scruffy like me. And so immediately when you said roguish, I was like, well, there it is. It's got to be Rocket. He's a good choice for that. He takes what he wants. He's a good guy at heart when it's all said and done. He's sneaky. It's Rocket. So that's my Marvel pick. I'm actually trying to diversify a little bit. I had Star Wars and a Marvel. I've also got a Disney pick, and I'm a little surprised that this one hasn't come up yet. If Zach Curtis was here, it would have happened already. It's Captain Jack Sparrow, lads. Obviously. Yeah. Captain Jack is he's the sea rogue, man. I mean, he very much fits that bill. Takes what he wants, does what he wants to do. Heart of gold at the end of the day. Don't think too much about those later movies. They're bad. But remember what he was like in the very first one, when everyone was obsessed with those movies and that character in particular. I forget, honestly, sometimes how much I love that first movie because so much happened afterwards. The first one is so good. And they're not terrible past that. None of them are bad. But
They still have
nothing
the same
matches up
charm.
to that first one. No, and nothing matches up to that first one. Jack Sparrow in that movie where he is essentially like an anti-hero and he's not actually the good guy and the person we're going to follow. I like it when he still is a little bit morally gray. So... yeah, Rocket and Jack. That's a good combo for me. Tanner, you're back up. Round 3.
I'm going to go with, oh God, this is a tough choice.
Meow.
I'm going to go with Rick O'Connell from the Mummy series.
That's a good choice too. He was on my
like
short
him.
list.
I love me some Brendan Fraser.
And he
I
was
guess
so
the
good in
only
that.
thing he's very good in that. The only I had him on there as an alternative if I needed him. Actually, I was going to pick him instead of Indiana Jones if Indiana Jones got taken first, which he did. But Rick, to me, he doesn't do the thing he does because he wants to do it. He's a hired gun, and that makes me think of him less as a rogue archetype. But he still has the charm, the intelligence, all that stuff still works. If he was an actual the one who's leading the charge on doing these things, I'd have thought of him more like that. But he still fits.
He
the bill.
definitely fits it in the first film. The rest of them, not as much, but that first film is absolutely
Well,
a British character.
Like Jack Sparrow, he ends up kind of becoming the let's make him the face of all good guy type stuff, and it doesn't work as well. So yeah, no, that's a great movie too, and a great character. Shannon,
Oh,
round 3.
I'm not going to name my other Star Wars character. I'm going to put him on my bonus list. It's my Saints Row character,
Ooh,
the boss. I guess you could put it out as, because
the boss.
the Saints Row. For those of you that have played it, I know I've played it. I don't know if anyone else here has played Saints Row before.
The fourth one, only the fourth one. Weirdly,
Fourth one.
beginning to end. But yeah,
it's a wild story. You start off as a guy just in the wrong neighborhood. You end up joining a gang, and it is you steal from the rich, you give back to the community, and you're kind of silent in the first one, but by part 2, part 3, and part 4, you're fully voiced, and they literally refer to you in part 4, I think, as a puckish rogue. You do whatever you want. I mean, this is kind of a cheat code because it is so much of your own design. You get to design the character and you can decide how they handle things. But
yeah,
I mean, this is, at one point in Saints Row 3, you rob your own bank. That's how much of a rogue you are, is you're robbing your own bank. So, yeah, you tell me. I would just put him as the boss. That's what they refer to him as the game. But, yeah, and play the Saints Row games. I think you will see what I mean, and they're fun games. I'm going to regret that choice later.
Well, right now is not later. And by then, before would have been better, but before will be over.
You just blew my
Lindsay,
fucking mind.
What's your third choice?
My third choice is Gene Starwind from Outlaw Star, one of my favorite animes and one of my favorite anime characters. Classic
Holy shit, I
bounty
got it
hunter
right.
who means to do well but doesn't always do it the way you would think.
I was looking to see if I spelled it correctly, and I got it right.
Gene Starwind was very good.
I was a little surprised it took this long for anything anime to show up, frankly. Frankly. I don't know why I said it like that.
Frankly, dankily.
Okay, Jesse.
I think I'm actually going to do Felicia Hardy, the Black Cat.
Yeah, that's a good choice.
Good for you.
I was looking at comic-related ones, and I not to spoil it, because I'm sure somebody thought about picking Catwoman, but like Black Cat's such a better option.
Oh, yeah.
She's so cool.
I don't know.
Fuck
Just throwing
me.
it out there.
Catwoman is literally my last pick, so fuck me, I guess.
Well,
I'll just
you
keep
win Game of
drinking.
Thrones.
Black Cat.
I'm infirm, man. Give me a break.
She's not my number 5 now. I'm gonna find someone
I'm
else.
trying to run this show in between bathroom breaks. Like, cut me some slack.
Because Felicia's legitimately like a good person at the end of the day. She's extremely charming. And in every scene, she's just always like, she's great. And yeah, she steals shit.
The best
Very
ones do.
Steal shit.
Yeah.
Does steal shit. That's true. Okay. So we finish round 3 and start round 4. You get 2 in a row here.
All right, I'm actually coming in dual wielding spikes. My last pick is going to be, or the last pick of this round is going to be Spike from Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Oh,
Yeah.
Good
that's
Spike
a good
choice.
pick. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
One I thought was going to be Shannon's like number 2.
AKA William the Bloody. Jesse, do you know why they call him William the Bloody? This is one of my favorite jokes of the Buffy series. So
I don't remember this.
the whole
I don't
time,
remember this
I don't
either.
remember either.
the whole time they talk about Spike, they call him William the Bloody, and you assume it's because he was this bloodthirsty killer, right? But then in the Angel series, there's a joke. You go back in time and you see these people talking about him, and they call him William the Bloody. And they're like, you know why they call him that, right? Because it's bloody awful poetry.
Yeah.
That's why he was
I
called William
love
the
the
Bloody.
flashback
Yeah.
episodes.
funny.
They're so
I-
good.
I
That's
never
pretty good.
watched any of Angel.
Oh, it's so good.
I watched it a
you and I-
long time ago, but he was one of the first things that came to my mind because that was such like one of the core memories of like a roguish character. whenever
Absolutely.
I really thought about it. I was just like,
Abso-fucking-lutely.
oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
Spike is a great character. Yeah, I fucking loved Buffy the Vampire Slayer back in the day. I don't know why.
yeah.
Shannon and I have talked about it numerous times before. I never watched Angel, and I don't have a good reason why.
At least,
It
so
didn't have enough
I've
Allison
never
Hannigan
watched
in it.
Buffy, but I watched Angel because Shannon showed it to me first.
I will say this: Angel is easier to watch now than Buffy is.
Yeah, I
Yes,
believe
because I've
that
gone back and rewatched it.
and
Yeah.
I've tried to rewatch Buffy, and I fail.
Mhm.
Hey,
I
hey,
think-
there's a reboot coming.
Not to. Oh, how's that good news?
Well,
not
hold on.
to,
It's not a reboot. It's not a reboot. It carries on
It's
the
a
story.
continuation.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Continuation. Okay,
Yeah.
that might be better. Yeah, I was going to say. So. Oh, not to throw too controversial a point, but Shannon, I think you and I both have talked about this. I think Buffy is kind of like the X-Files. If you're going to go back and watch it, you don't have to watch every single episode.
No,
Find the story
watch the
arcs.
hits.
Well, not even the story arcs, because in the X-Files, you don't want to watch the main story arcs. Those are the least interesting
the
ones.
worst
You want the
ones.
monster of the week shit.
Right.
You
Yeah.
can watch a YouTube summary about what happened in the overall story and be good to go.
You're not missing much. Yeah.
I think Buffy's probably the same way, because Buffy kind of coined the term monster of the week, if I remember correctly. I mean, they were almost literally saying that in the show, like, oh, this is an episode that's not about the main arc. It's about this weird thing we came up with, and it'll be wrapped up in 46 minutes.
And so drenched in the 90s. But absolute classic. And Spike, as played by, is it James Marsden?
Yes.
James Marsters.
There's too many James extra
Marsters.
out there in the acting world.
Marsters, because James Marsden was Cyclops, right?
Cyclops, yeah. And then James
Michelle
Marsters
said,
would go on to do bigger and better things. Of course, Tanner, as you know, he played the live-action Piccolo in the Dragon Ball movie. And Zach will appreciate that little fact.
Forgot about that.
You know what? Hold on.
Shelby said she was bringing two spikes here. I want to hear the other one.
But before you do,
I
Before
have
you
a
do.
feeling I know who the other one is.
Oh, I
Me
absolutely
too.
know who it is, and I've already taken it off my fucking list. You fool.
Even I know.
Even
I know.
from Space
Yep.
Cowboy.
Yeah, there it is. You gotta put it out there.
Before you go further on that, I have to say this, or Zach will get mad at me. So apparently, James Marsters was so apologetic about doing that Dragon Ball movie that he did voice acting for the new season of Dragon Ball uncredited as an apology.
Oh.
So I want to throw that
That's
out there.
interesting.
Zach, I'm sorry if I got some of those facts wrong. Okay, let's go to that pick. Spike Spiegel. Yeah! Spike Spiegel? Yeah.
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 She said I'm bringing two
I
spikes.
gotta
knew it.
figure
I know
another
who
one
one
out
is.
now.
Yeah.
And I've never even seen Cowboy Bebop.
It's just a good choice. It's just a good choice.
Yeah.
Then again, literally anybody from Cowboy Bebop could be picked. I could just put Jet Black on mine instead.
Space cowboys are the greatest thing in the world. Just like,
Yes.
I love it. It's
I mean,
great.
it's
and
a
it's
toss
all
up between
jazzy
Space
too
Cowboys.
throughout. Just
But Shelby,
I was gonna make a terrible joke
what
about
is
the
your
Gangster
take
of
on
Love.
Cowboy Andy?
He's white. That boy is white.
That boy is
That
white.
boy is white.
All right, two spikes for round 3 and round 4. Should we do a recap, or we want to just keep moving? We'll just do it.
We'll just keep moving. We'll recap it.
We'll keep it moving. All
Let's
right,
just keep
Jesse,
it
you're up.
moving.
All right, I'm going to take one of my all-time, because Hunter might take him from me before I get back around.
Scooby Doo.
One of my all-time favorite sitcom rogues, Doug Judy.
God
Oh,
damn,
you know, I didn't even think about him.
motherfucker, I didn't
really
think
didn't.
about that at all.
I need to know
Yeah.
who this
No,
is
you got
because
me there.
I don't know
It's
this.
from
Oh my
Brooklyn
God,
Nine-Nine,
it's
right?
amazing.
I assume.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's
Pontiac Bandit.
What's his name? I can never think of the actual actor's name. I always think of Patrice O'Neill, and it's not him. He passed away.
No. Fuck me, I knew it.
Ron
Talking about
Funches.
it.
Ron Funches.
He's in The Office, too. No,
No.
it's not Ron Funches. He's in The Office, too.
Chi McBride?
Nope.
Nope. Who?
Not Chi
Craig
McBride. Craig Robinson.
that's it.
Greg Robinson.
God
That's
damn.
Craig
it.
Robinson.
I
fucking
fail
love
my
Craig
black
Robinson.
actors.
Yeah.
And everything
Yeah.
he's in, I love Craig Robinson.
Yeah.
He is a national treasure, and and Doug Judy is certainly no exception. He only appears once a season for an episode or 3,
Yep.
and every single one of them are like peak episodes.
Top-tier
of that
episodes.
season.
Look, Jesse,
Absolutely.
I challenge you.
We faked his death.
You tell me one thing that Craig Robinson is in that he isn't the best part of.
He and Adam Scott did that show Ghosts, and the show's not
And
great.
he was
but
the
they're
best part
equally
of
good.
it.
They're equally good. Adam
I watched
Scott's
that.
very good in show.
I watched
They're-
that show.
That show is incredible.
This is the end.
I said Ghost. It's called Ghosted.
Ghosted,
Because there's
yeah.
another show called Ghosts, I think,
Yeah.
on CBS.
I remember the first
That's
half
all.
of that show was so good, and I really enjoyed it. And then something happened,
I'll
and
tell
I
you.
thought I missed an entire season.
I can tell you what happened.
Wasn't it?
I can tell you what happened. No, what happened is the ratings for the first season were so bad that they brought people in from The Office to make it more like The Office. That's why season 2 takes place almost entirely within their office. They
Can't do that, man.
They completely abandoned what happened. Because Allie and I used to watch it. We were big fans of it. And we saw season 2 and we were like, what the hell is this? This is
I
not
really
Yeah.
was. It's not the same show at all.
It's not the same show at all.
Yeah.
At all.
It's
And,
so
and I have an
weird.
answer to your question.
What was my
I
question?
said it now. If there name one thing Craig
Craig
Robinson was
Robinson,
in where he
okay.
wasn't the best part.
All right.
This is the end.
I don't know. He had that shirt that said
James Franco Seth Rogen movie.
Yeah, but he had that shirt that said "Show me your pussy." I think is what it was.
I would actually argue that Craig Robinson is the best part of that film.
No, it's Michael Cera.
I mean, the correct answer at the end of the day, this is not what we're doing right now, but it's The Office. He's not the best part of The Office. He's amazing in The Office, but he's not the best part of
And
The
I've never
Office.
seen that, so I can only take your word on it, but I do believe you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he's very, very good.
I would agree with Hunter. Like he's always every time he's on.
He's good in everything. He's in.
All right, before we move on, I'll tell you the one thing that he's better than everything else in, and he makes the movie, and that's The Goods with Jeremy Piven as the DJ. he's
DJ Request.
DJ Request.
He takes no request.
He saves that fucking movie. Okay.
Yeah, anything that Craig Robinson is starring in, he's the best part of it.
Oh yeah.
Yes, for sure.
Because he's not the best part of Brooklyn Nine-Nine, even though his episodes are.
He's definitely one of the best.
He's absolutely my favorite recurring character, like a recurring side character.
All right, enough about Craig Robinson.
There's never enough about Craig Robinson.
Move on.
Lindsay, your fourth pick.
Okay, my fourth one might be a little bit surprising, and it might piss Shannon off, but I'm going to take Puss in Boots.
I didn't even think of Puss in Boots. Oh,
that's a good choice.
That's a good choice.
Yeah. I thought of him. He wasn't on my list because it would have been disingenuous, but he's a good choice.
It's a shame he's the exact same character as my next choice.
Fuck.
That's okay.
Well, you're gonna have a chance to do that.
I know.
I want Lindsay to talk about Puss in Boots first, though.
He's so good.
I mean, how can you not like Puss in Boots when he just gives you those kitty cat eyes?
My love of Puss in Boots goes all the way back to the Nintendo. There was a game on there, and I don't remember who made it. I think it was Toei, called Puss in Boots.
Yes, it was Toei.
And it was not a great game, but it was.
But it was from their cartoon Puss in Boots, also though.
And I loved that game, even though it wasn't great. And then of course Antonio Banderas playing Puss in Boots in the Shrek films was so good.
Fabulous.
He was so good to the point that me and Kaz and Chad and Bob and a couple other people, when we were in college, we had to film a short film for a video production class, and we filmed a horror movie out in the woods that surrounded the college. We couldn't afford props, so we brought our own guns and swords to the set. I'm not kidding. This was before that was unpopular.
I've seen this movie.
And the villain of the story was a Puss in Boots doll that had come to life, voiced by Kaz. Yes. In the Forest of Erection. It was a lot. It was a lot. God. Yeah.
Because there's this movie, and then there's the other movie that's I guess it's a short is the other one where Bob's the bad guy and gets scared away by Chad.
That's the prequel.
Yes.
That's the first film in the series. Yes. Hold on. I have to tell the story. I have to tell this really quick story.
Oh no!
So we the first film.
That sounds country as fuck in this video.
The first movie we did for video production, I directed it, and the plot was that Bob was basically, he was a serial killer who was working out, getting strong because he's going to kill these guys, right? And it was Kaz and another guy that we know. I don't remember his name. But the day we filmed Chad's part, I said, look, all I need you to, Chad is black for the record. I said, all I need you to do is be the most stereotypical gangster black guy you've ever been. And the joke is that the serial killer runs across him and is so scared of him, the serial killer drops his weapon and runs away. So we filmed the scene, and Chad, his gangster, the first thing he says, I swear to God, I'm not making this up. The first thing he says is, "What the fuck's up, motherfuckers?" And I'm like, what the fuck, Chad? Just be you. Oh, sorry.
Because anybody that's heard Chad talk, he doesn't talk like that normally.
Oh, God.
Yes,
I'm sorry. Yes, he does.
Okay. In the 3 times that I've talked to him, he did not sound like that at all.
He got better.
He turned the black on for you, Jesse.
Yes, he couldn't for me. Go ahead, Hunter. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I was waiting for a lull so I could go. So that's Puss in Boots. Shannon, what's your fourth pick?
Well, since I couldn't do Spike Spiegel, my new fourth pick is also Puss in Boots, except he was called Alejandro Murrieta or Zorro.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He just wasn't a cat.
Yes.
Pretty good.
Also played by Antonio Banderas.
That was literally my next pick.
Yeah,
She said Puss in Boots. I go, whoa. And he said, "Oh, cool. My next pick's the exact same person. Son of a bitch."
I love Zorro. I've always, even before Antonio Banderas was Zorro, because Zorro was basically Robin Hood, but cooler. He was sexier.
Yeah.
The stories were cooler. And then
that fucking Disney series from back.
Some people will say he was too sexy.
It's too sexy.
Because that was
But he
whatever.
must.
I think it was Vault Disney was like the Disney's Nick at Night back in the day.
Yep.
They had like Zorro on syndication, and I loved rewatching those reruns.
And the movies were great. Antonio Banderas made Zorro even cooler. Zorro's badass, man. People forget about Zorro. They sleep on
Yeah,
Zorro.
but let's also talk about the fact that
You're going to mention the George Hamilton movie, aren't you?
No. Why am I blanking on his name right now? Anthony Hopkins. Anthony Hopkins played a great Don Diego.
That's true. But George Hamilton played Zorro the Gay Blade. His name was Bunny.
Okay, moving on.
All right.
Well, we are moving on. Then it's Tanner. It's your turn.
I
Round four.
am taking the best rogue character in all of video games, Ezio Auditore.
Yeah, use up on my. I use
I'm a
up
little
my
surprised it took you
Italian.
this long. I mean, to be fair, that's one you could have left to the bitter end and probably gotten away with because nobody else was going to do that. But yeah,
I was
I'm
actually
waiting on
gonna
this
tell
one.
I was going to take him pick 5 if, well, I guess I couldn't have you because Tanner would have gone before me.
Anyway, yeah, I'm taking Ezio Auditore because he is, I mean, by definition, he's as rogue as you can get.
That's a good pick.
Lives outside the law. He is a ladies' man. He's just got that charisma. I fucking love Ezio, man.
See, Zorro the Gay
best assassin in
Blade
the franchise.
was not great with women. For the record,
Well, probably because he wasn't trying to be, right? I mean,
well, I just want to point out George Hamilton starred in the movie Zorro the Gay Blade, which was a very popular film back in the day. He played both the main hero Don Diego de la Vega and his gay twin brother Bunny Wigglesworth.
oh boy,
Oh, God.
oh dear. Oh,
I just needed to say that.
Yikes.
Okay.
Anyway,
That's not okay.
I'm gonna finish out round 4 and then begin round 5. So these are my last 2 picks, and I have to, as I've done many times tonight, apparently have to counteract Tanner or contradict him because the best rogue in video games is not Ezio Auditore, it's Lara Croft.
God.
There's not enough women on this list anyway.
Well, I picked Catwoman until apparently it was unpopular.
I mean, with me alone. I wanted a classic Tomb Raider on here, and if I can't get my hands on, Indiana Jones or some of the others, then it's going to be Lara Croft. I noticed when I put my list together, there were very few women on it, and I didn't care for that. So I immediately was like, well, this is probably the best possible option.
You could change my pick to Zorro the Gay Blade.
That's not the same.
And then, even though I was trying to pick from multiple mediums, I thought about putting a book choice on here because there's a guy named Locke Lamora, who I've talked about before, is in a very good fantasy novel that's kind of like that. I saw his name and I went, well, no, I have to have the other Locke. Locke from Final Fantasy VI, Shannon, is my final pick. How in the world it took you this long to pick? It was somewhere along the way. He just has Zen in his hands now. He just got his Zen in his hands.
He's a broken
All of
man.
his picks are just disappearing.
No, I didn't think of that one. I didn't think of that one.
Yeah, I was going to say, there's nobody thought of it, or he would have picked it a long time ago. Final Fantasy has far fewer rogues than you would imagine. And I thought about putting Barrett Wallace on there because I consider him some form of that. I mean, again, he runs a counterterrorism group and that sort of thing. But Locke is the most traditional rogue. He's very high fantasy rogue, the kind that you would play in a D&D game that, it's hard to put on here because there's not a lot of established ones. It's always a character you make. So Locke fits that very well.
He was my favorite character in Final Fantasy VI, actually. He really was.
Yeah, same. That's what you and I bonded over. We both liked him a lot.
Well, there's him, and then there's another character that I think would work as a rogue, and I'll save him for mine last one now.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. Yeah, I know who you're talking about. I can't think of his name, but I know who you're talking about.
Don't
not
say
that
it.
Tanner's going to pick him, but I'm saying I'll pick him anyway. I'm not gonna say the name. There's a dog involved, right?
No, different guy.
Oh, they both could work.
You were making me realize that Final Fantasy VI had like 6 rogues you could pick from in that game.
Yeah, where a bunch of the other games don't.
They don't.
When I got to thinking about it, I was like, you would think these games would have more of those types of characters, but like other than, what is her name, Yuffie in Final Fantasy VII, and like a couple of them in 9.
Zidane. Yeah, in 9.
Yeah, there's a couple in 9.
Right.
Most of them are not very rogue-like. They're more thieves than anything.
My favorite part, well, that's my favorite part of Final Fantasy VI, is they keep calling Locke a thief. And he always replies with, "No, I'm a treasure hunter."
Right.
That was always my favorite joke.
Yeah, because he's hunting for them behind locked doors.
Here's to you, boy. All right.
Hell yeah. Okay, so that's all my 5. Tanner, your last pick.
My last pick comes from literature. I'm picking Strider. Give me Aragorn, man.
You mean Aragorn? Yeah, I was going to say. Close enough.
Am I on my last pick?
Uh-huh.
Yes. Yeah, you got one more.
Right.
Where the hell
Strider,
did that
Aragorn.
go?
Like, literally, one of my favorite characters in all of literature is Aragorn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Self-explanatory.
think
Zorro.
he was on my short list if I had to go with him. But part of the reason I didn't is because I think of him more of a ranger than I do as a rogue. He's very ranger-like.
When he's Strider, he's a rogue.
Yeah, I mean,
I was always real iffy on the Strider Aragorn thing. So
Why?
it's just him going by a false name.
Yeah,
I mean,
no one knows he's one of the.
That's it.
why didn't he use those ghosts to fight for him faster?
Because he didn't want to take on that responsibility.
Okay, bro. There's like 9 million orcs, but
You will be king.
Million orbs.
Oh, I really want to watch these movies for the show. I really want Shannon to actually sit through them and get into them.
my favorite character died in the first one, so
Director
ooh.
cut.
Well, that's because you weren't watching them all that closely. It's also, by the way, it's your last choice, so let's make it.
So as a honorable mention, because this is what I was going to go with originally, but when we talked about Final Fantasy VI, I could not go with that
honorable
character.
mentions yet.
You're not going to pick this one. Don't worry. No one would
He
pick
already
this one.
picked his. It doesn't matter.
The honorable mention is Dead-Eyed Duck from Bucky O'Hare.
Yeah, nobody was going to pick that eye duck, probably.
Yeah,
He's very cool, but he's a four-armed duck with an eye patch and a blaster in every hand.
But when Hunter talked about 6, I thought, oh, well, there's a character in that I genuinely love so much that in Final Fantasy 14, I gambled until I got his full outfit in the game, and that is Setzer Gabbiani.
That's her.
Is it Gabbiani? I think that's how you pronounce it. Gabbiani.
I don't remember, man. I literally just put their last names or their first names in there because the game very rarely addresses their last names.
And there was no voiceovers, so it was impossible to tell. But it's Gabbiani. To me, that sounds like Gabbiani.
Yeah, I would think so.
Setzer is a gambler who has his own airship, the Blackjack, and the way that you get him into your party is you trick him by putting on a full-on opera, which is one of my favorite parts of a video game of all time. The opera scene with Ceres in some places, Soleil in some other places.
Celeste. Yeah.
But that scene made my... When I was still doing Blogzilla 1985 and I was doing articles about video games, I did a top 10 Final Fantasy moments of all time. And that scene, the opera scene, was my number 1 because I love that scene that much. And they would never put that in a video game today. They would never put a full-on fucking opera in a video game where you had to act it out. And then Setzer shows up on the Blackjack and kidnaps you and eventually becomes a party member. He is just this badass gambler who goes where he wants and does what he wants. I mean, when I think of Rogue, that's what I think of. This is a very super deformed version of him I'm putting in the chat. So imagine this, but as, a real person. But I mean, he's cool as hell. And I have that full costume in Final Fantasy 14. My red mage, that's what he wears. I gambled at the Golden Saucer and won the jackpot once and was able to afford his entire costume. Setzer is one of the coolest fucking RPG characters of all time.
Yeah, we had very few gamblers in there, and I know there's still people to go, so I won't say anything. But I'm a little surprised by that now that I think about it. Gambit is probably the closest up to that point, I guess.
I thought Kenny Rogers would have been on here for someone.
Surely he was going to show
somewhere.
up. Lindsay, pick a gambler or don't. You know.
No.
Okay.
So Shannon might not have picked Deadeye, but my final one shares his voice actor. I'm
Rob
taking
Paulson,
Duo
right?
Maxwell from Gundam Wing. No,
Oh.
Scott McNeil.
Sorry, my bad.
But Duo Maxwell, pilot of Gundam Death Scythe, the god of death himself.
See, I didn't even think about him either. He is very roguish, but I figured once you get into a giant mechanical suit of death armor, maybe it doesn't count
He
anymore.
still do the espionage thing where he's got to like pretend to be other people and talk people up, you know.
Well, if it was about
And
espionage,
he'll still steal you blind if he can.
if it was about espionage, someone should have picked James Bond.
They did.
No,
Well, then-
show me did.
Well, then I guess everything's tied up in a neat little package.
Jesse, make your last pick.
Okay, Shelby, your last pick isn't from Buffy, right?
No.
Okay, then I want to put out Faith as an honorable mention from Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
I like her theme
Oh, there's so
song.
many honorable mentions,
You
dude.
gotta have
I'm sitting on a
fun.
bunch of them.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure she got mentioned. My actual last pick, though, is going to be Jimmy McGill, also known as Saul Goodman from the Breaking Bad series and Better Call Saul.
I'm putting Saul Goodman. We all know him as Saul Goodman, if we know him.
I mean, everybody should, if everybody that liked Breaking Bad should definitely watch Better Call Saul, because that goes over the backstory, and he is very, like, he's not Saul Goodman until I think the final season, and it shows the origin of the Saul Goodman name, which is very funny. And he's Jimmy McGill for most of it, and yeah, he's legitimately a good dude. He just kind of like keeps making not so great decisions, certainly outside the law.
Well, you say that, but he lived till the end.
I mean, that's true.
Spoiler.
But yeah, Saul Goodman is a great character. Shelby, what's your last?
Also played, by the way, by the great Bob Odenkirk. Don't forget that.
That is correct, yes. And he is phenomenal. He is absolutely incredible in both Breaking Bad and he won multiple awards for Better Call Saul for his performance in that show.
I'm just glad he did, because usually when you talk about Mr. Show with Bob and David Cross is the one that always gets most of the accolades, because he had a pretty successful career. He was on, what was that show? Arrested Development. He was on that.
Yes,
that was very popular.
yes.
So Bob Odenkirk really didn't do much. Bob Odenkirk, Hunter, went the opposite way and kind of did, he did Tim and Eric stuff. He did Tom Goes to the Mayor. He did...
He also did a lot of behind the scenes stuff. He wrote for SNL for a while.
wrote for SNL. So for him to get that big, like, breakout character, I was so happy for him. I love Bob Odenkirk, and he's a local boy too. Yeah. I think Bob Odenkirk is from
Well, he's not from Carbondale, but he graduated from SIU.
He went to SIU, yeah, and he is from somewhere nearby, Berwyn, Illinois. Make that make sense. All right, Shelby, go ahead.
Shelby, finish it out here.
All right, my last pick is actually going to be a character from a Sonic video game.
Is it Big the Cat?
No, it's Rouge the Bat.
That's a better choice. That's a better choice.
That's a good choice.
She loves jewels. She's a jewel thief. She's really charismatic. She's just kind of like, you know what, I'm going to do what I want. Fuck all of you, I don't care. If it makes me happy, I'm going to do it.
I just appreciate that you call her Rouge and not Rogue.
Yes. Her name is Rouge. It is not Rogue.
I loved all
color. It's not a.
I loved all the people that would get Rouge and Rogue wrong back in the day.
Yeah.
No one could spell Rogue's name right. I don't know why that was such an issue.
Hi, me.
Still happens.
Totally me.
Hey, look, Shelby. That's Rouge the Bat. She's badass.
I'll own up to it.
Okay, so that's all.
Let's
we'll do.
let's go for that list.
Run them through.
Yeah,
Run through the list. We'll go through our own here, and we can just go in order. So, since I went first, my team ends up being Han Solo, Rocket Raccoon, Jack Sparrow, Lara Croft, and Locke. Tanner is gone. Okay, we'll come back to Tanner. Shannon,
I'm here. I don't
He's
have
here.
my list in front of me.
Okay,
I'll tell you
hang on,
Tanner's
I'll
list.
screenshot it so you can see it.
Remus
No, hang
Williams.
on,
Okay.
Please. It's not Remus.
Sorry.
You're triggering the
Okay, like with a
fan.
Sirius Black.
Hang on. I'll just screenshot it so you can see it. And
Oh, I thought you already
read
had.
it. And it can be. I'm working on it. I'm trying to. But you're over here talking about Remus Williams. There he is, Tanner.
Let's see. Sirius Black, Zori Bliss, Rick O'Connell, Ezio Auditore, and Strider / Aragorn.
Yes, Shannon.
Yo, it's Bugs Bunny, Zorro, my Saints Row character, Dash Rendar, and Setzer Giovanni from Final Fantasy VI.
Lindsay.
I got Flynn Rider, Aladdin, Gene Starwind, Puss in Boots, and Duo Maxwell.
Jesse.
I have Gambit, Star Lord, Felicia Hardy, Doug Judy, and Saul Goodman.
And Shelby.
I've got Indiana Jones, James Bond, Spike from Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Spike Spiegel, and Rouge of the Bat.
Now, Hunter, was he from Indiana or?
No, it was actually just a nickname.
Huh? Oh, sorry, did you just say a correct Indiana Jones fact?
Because that's my whip.
I think we can all agree that
shit.
the rogue character is usually the best character of the story. Usually.
Yeah.
Frequently.
Quite often.
Yeah.
Often. Big time.
And unfortunately, Mel Brooks gave us a lot of good topics to talk about, but Hunter, that's the end of Mel Brooks May.
Yes, yeah, we didn't talk about it too much on
We didn't know.
Tuesday. Yeah, we didn't know. Now we know. So since we're leading right into it, next week begins a new month, and so for extras and epilogues, that means that next month is June, or should I say it's June Wick.
Uh-oh.
We're watching all 4 John Wick movies once per week. I've never seen them. I've not seen one thing from any of them, so I am curious to see how this goes. Stephen Bright will be our special guest all month long. We'll probably have some other folks joining us as well. But yeah, I just finished up typing up the notes. So I'm very curious about what the topics for this are going to be, considering all the John Wick movies are, as best I can tell, basically the same.
They will be non-related lists.
Nope, they'll be related. We'll figure it out. Top 5 people you would assassinate in real life.
No.
No.
I'm hearing a no on that one. I'm hearing a no on that one.
I thought for sure he was going to say top 5 things
I mean,
you would
we
do
could
if
do
someone
top
killed your
5
dog.
dogs that you would kill for.
That's actually pretty
That's a
good.
good one.
Top 5
we did top 5 dogs
you would
though.
kill for.
We did that last summer.
How
That's
about?
true.
Oh, I get it.
We killed all the dogs.
Top 5 animal companions from animated films you would kill.
No.
So basically, because we did top 5 animal companions, what you're talking
Yes.
about is the bottom 5
The
animal
bottom 5.
companions.
The worst. Okay, worst.
you-
The ones you would-
Look,
the ones you would let die.
look. The
Hi,
first,
Scrappy.
the first one's easy. It's like your top 5 Keanu Reeves characters because he's done so many films. I think we could do that in a draft style. That'd be fun. But that's next week's
we'll make it
problem.
work.
That's next week's problem. Right now,
PCA5 plays.
Let's talk about plays.
Because we gotta do the others as
yeah,
well.
let's talk about plays.
Plays wrapped up our season 2 of Deadlands of Horror at Headstone Hill earlier this week, so that is that season has come to an end. We have one more act to go there, but that's going to be a little bit for the
Shannon
month
and
of
I had
June.
Crazy rolls.
Oh man, it's a very good episode. It's one of my favorite episodes we've done in a while. So if you're caught up on the story, you should definitely go check it out. We for the month of June at least, we are doing some non-traditional stuff for plays because we all have various times that we're going to be gone. So trying to keep something cohesive going is going to be a mess. We're going to be doing some streaming. We may do some like one night stuff. Well, Shane won't be gone because he has to run the show. How else could he run the show?
Yeah,
but I'm going to be gone. Cass is
allowed.
going to be gone. Tanner's going to be gone. So. So there will be episodes of plays. We just they're not going to be traditional stuff. So stay tuned for that.
We talked about doing some tabletop simulator. There's a lot of stuff you can do on that. We talked about doing some one shots. I don't know. We'll see. It should be fun. And of course we'll be back with After Dark all month long, talking about stuff inspired by our previous episodes, and that's really it.
Oh, we might have another surprise up our sleeves.
This is breaking news for me, unless he told me
Sounds
and I
like Tanner
forgot.
might have some surprise up his sleeve.
Well, just keep an eye on the skies.
The skis.
No.
What I say?
Later. No, we can't do that. It's got to be Shelby. Shelby, it's got to be your bull. Go ahead.
No.
All right, we're still rolling. Shelly, take two.
Who is Shelly?
Shelly, god damn it.
Who is she?
He calls you Shelly. He calls me honey. I don't know what else to do with the boy.
And I call Lindsay mommy.
No.
Oh no.
No.
That's it. You have to end it.
And when you do this,
I tried to find the
Me.
And I did. Hey, Jill.